Have you ever said goodbye to a car? Not just any car, but your car. The one that carried your children to school. The one that took you through rainstorms and road trips. That broke down at the worst moment, and yet somehow became a part of the family. Most of us think that when a car dies, that's the end of the story. But what if I told you that was just the beginning? Because behind the closed gates of scrapyards across America, a quiet revolution is happening. A car, long forgotten, is being reborn, not as a memory, but as something stronger. In this video, we'll take you inside one of the most powerful industries you've probably never seen up close. You'll witness how a rusty old vehicle becomes the steel in tomorrow's skyscrapers, bridges, and even your next car. This isn't just about recycling. It's about rediscovery, resilience, and the silent engine that keeps our modern world running. Let's begin the journey, where most people think it ends. The graveyard or a new beginning. There's something strangely solemn about a junkyard. Rows and rows of silent vehicles. Windshields cracked like old memories. Rust slowly eating through what was once gleaming metal. It feels like a graveyard, but it isn't, because here, among the broken bumpers and the faded license plates, a different kind of story begins. A second life, a new purpose. Most of us only see a car when the engine gives out or the repairs become too costly. But in the world of auto recycling, that's not a dead end, it's a doorway. A typical vehicle is made up of over 75% recyclable material. And every year, more than 12 million cars in the United States alone pass through this gate of rebirth. Think about that, 12 million endings becoming 12 million new beginnings. Some call it scrapyard, others call it an urban mine. And maybe that's a better name, because inside each of these worn-out machines lies steel,
we need to adjust the
aluminum,
calibration
copper,
on sort of
and glass
the data
waiting not to
supports that.
rot,
Let's
but to
confirm the flow rate.
return.
Calibration
To return
set. The levels
as the
look
skeleton
optimized
of a
now.
bridge, framework of a building, or maybe one day as the hood of another family's first car. It's easy to see trash in what's broken, but it takes vision to see possibility. And this entire industry, the $60 billion engine of transformation, runs on that vision. So how exactly does a pile of rusted metal become the raw muscle of tomorrow's world? Let's follow the journey from the car's last stop to its most important one. From junk to a $60 billion empire. At first glance, a junk car seems worthless. Its tires are bald. Its paint is chipped. The engine might not even turn over. But behind that shell, behind every dent and scratch, there's a hidden economy most people never see. The auto recycling industry isn't just about cleaning up old metal. It's a massive global operation that touches nearly every part of modern life. In the United States alone, it fuels over 140,000 jobs and contributes more than $60 billion to the economy every single year. That's more than the music industry, more than Hollywood. Think about it. One vehicle, when recycled correctly, can become dozens of new things. Steel for construction, aluminum for electronics, copper for power lines, even rubber for playgrounds. And it all starts in places most of us drive by without a second glance. The brilliance of this system lies in its efficiency. Instead of digging deep into the earth, melting raw, or in releasing tons of carbon into the air, we take what's already been used and reuse it smarter. Every ton of steel recycled from an old car saves nearly 2,500 pounds of iron ore, 1,400 pounds of coal, and 120 pounds of limestone. Multiply that by millions of vehicles, and suddenly it's not just recycling, it's a revolution in resource management. And it's not just the planet that benefits. Communities do too. Small towns across America rely on local salvage yards and recycling plants for employment and economic stability. These aren't just scrap heaps, they're lifelines. Take Billings, Montana, a city of just over 100,000 people. Its regional scrapyard processes over 30,000 vehicles per year, supplying metal to manufacturers in 3 different states. That means local jobs, regional trade, and national impact, all from old, unwanted cars. Who would have thought that something once considered junk could carry this much weight? This is what makes the auto recycling industry so remarkable. It doesn't just give new life to old materials. It gives new strength to entire economies. And this empire, all $60 billion of it, starts with something as simple as a car on its last leg. But how does this empire track each vehicle, each part, each ounce of recoverable value? That's where the next chapter begins. A digital farewell and a precise plan for rebirth. The car's last ID check. A digital farewell. Before the first bolt is loosened. Before the tires come off or the fluids are drained. Every car gets one final moment of recognition. It's called the intake process. And though it might look routine, it's far more than just paperwork. Technicians begin by scanning the vehicle identification number, VIN, a string of 17 characters that holds the car's entire life story. Year of manufacture, engine type, accident history, ownership transfers. It's all there, like the final lines in a well-worn journal. They check the mileage. They note visible damage. They photograph the vehicle from every angle. Then they upload everything. Engine number, drivetrain status, digital photos, and inspection notes into a centralized software system that tracks the car from start to finish. It's not just for documentation. It's a roadmap for resurrection. Because not all cars die the same way. Some come in crushed from an accident. Others simply wear out with age. But hidden within each vehicle are valuable parts that still have life left to give. Engines, transmissions, even navigation systems. And thanks to this digital intake, every salvageable component is identified and cataloged with precision. In a way, it's a second chance. An opportunity for certain parts to escape the crusher and find new purpose elsewhere. That transmission in a 2008 Honda, it might be refurbished and shipped to a repair shop in Ohio. That leather seat from a 2012 Lexus, reinstalled in a budget-conscious family car cross-town. It's like organ donation for machines. And for buyers looking for affordable repair, this system creates a thriving used auto parts market worth billions. But beyond economics, there's something almost poetic about this step. The car, once a symbol of freedom, movement, and identity, pauses for a final inspection, not as a castaway, but as a contributor to something greater. It's not just being dismantled, it's being redeemed. And once the digital farewell is complete, the physical journey begins. The careful removal of the car's most volatile components. What lies on, the hidden value inside. Not everything is destined for shred. Before the first wrench is turned, the intake team already knows which parts are worth saving, and which ones have a second life waiting beyond the scrapyard. Because under the dust, dense value still hides in plain sight. Let's start with the engine. If it's still in decent shape, it might be pulled, tested, cleaned, and sold for a fraction of the cost of a new one. For mechanics and budget-conscious drivers, this is gold. A remanufactured engine can give another vehicle 5, even 10 more years of life. Then there's the transmission, often the most expensive part to replace in any car. When salvageable, it becomes a lifeline for someone whose car broke down, but can't afford a full rebuild. And don't forget the electronics. Modern cars are rolling computers, backup cameras, touchscreens, navigation modules. These components aren't cheap to replace, and many are still fully functional when the rest of the car has reached its end. Even the seats, dashboard, and door panels, in good condition, get pulled and sold. Salvage yards have become treasure troves for rare interior parts that are no longer manufactured for car restorers or hobbyists. It's like finding a lost puzzle piece. Across the country, there's a multi-billion-dollar ecosystem powered by these reusable parts. Online marketplaces, local repair shops, nationwide salvage networks, all built on what survives Crusher. It's a quiet kind of sustainability, one that keeps other vehicles on the road longer, one that saves customers thousands of dollars, one that reduces the need to manufacture new parts, saving energy and raw materials in the process. And it reminds us of something powerful. Just because something is no longer whole doesn't mean it's worthless. In fact, sometimes the broken parts are the ones that help keep others going. But not all vehicles are so lucky. Some arrive too damaged, too worn, too far gone to salvage anything at all. And for them, the journey moves forward to the next phase, draining the dangers that lie beneath, taming the toxic, how recycling saves the planet. It's easy to see a car as a machine made of metal, but inside, it carries something far more dangerous: liquid time bombs. Gasoline, motor oil, transmission fluid, brake fluid, antifreeze, refrigerant gas. Each end-of-life vehicle contains gallons of hazardous liquids, and if left unchecked, they can pollute soil, poison groundwater, and ignite into disaster. That's why, before a single part is removed, the car is lifted onto a sealed platform. Hydraulic clamps lock it into place. A technician inserts a steel probe into the fuel tank, connecting it to a vacuum system designed not just to drain, but preserve. Because here's the surprising truth: nothing goes to waste. That leftover gasoline, it powers forklifts and generators inside the facility. The transmission fluid, filtered and reused. Even the refrigerant gas, often seen as an environmental threat, is carefully recovered and sent for purification, to be reused in air conditioning systems. It's a closed-loop system. No leaks, no spills, no shortcuts. Pressure sensors monitor flow. One-way valves prevent backup. Vapors are sealed, not released. And the most impressive part? It all happens in minutes. One car, fully drained and detoxed, faster than a coffee break. In older junkyards, these fluids used to seep into the earth, sometimes undetected for years. But today's modern recycling plants operate like clean labs. They're not just protecting workers, they're shielding entire ecosystems. Because 1 gallon of spilled motor oil can contaminate 1 million gallons of water. Because a single drop of refrigerant gas, if released, can warm the planet thousands of times more than carbon dioxide. And because doing nothing costs all of us everything. So yes, recycling is about steel and value, but it's also about responsibility, about facing the toxic legacy of machines, and neutralizing with intention and care. And once the danger is drained, the work continues, one part at a time. For tires, 6 windows, dozens of components, each with a destiny beyond the junkyard. The brutal symphony, crushing and shredding. It begins with a sound, not music, but something close. The deep rumble of hydraulic pistons, the hiss of compressed air, the thunderclap of metal against metal. It's not a factory, it's not a battlefield, it's a recycling yard of full force. Once all reusable
By
parts
utilizing
have been salvaged,
recycled
the
components,
car shell,
we can
what's left of
revolutionize
it,
infrastructure.
heads into the most
Imagine
visceral
a
part of its
bridge built
journey,
entirely from yesterday's
destruction with
vehicles.
purpose. First comes the hydraulic shear. Picture a mechanical beast with jaws of steel, clamping with tens of tons of pressure. It rips off doors, yanks out exhaust systems, and crushes radiators, all in seconds. Why so violent? Because before the car can be compacted or shredded, it must be purified. All remaining plastics, tangled wiring, insulation, or foam, anything that can't be melted down, must go. This isn't just about efficiency. It's about safety. Leftover materials can ignite, contaminate the metal, or even damage the shredder itself. Once stripped clean, The bare frame enters a crusher. Depending on the facility, one of 3 machines takes over. A car baler compresses the vehicle into a dense cube of steel, easy to stack and transport. Flattener squeezes it into a thin sheet, like rolling out dough, but 4,000 pounds of it. The shear baler slices the car into bite-sized chunks, ready for furnace. Each method has its place. Each one transforms a once recognizable vehicle into something uniform, efficient, and ready. But the real magic, the real transformation, happens next. The shredder, the mechanical heart of the entire system, awaits. It looks like a giant chamber of rotating teeth. The moment a compacted car enters, those interlocking blades tear to pieces in seconds. Sparks fly, metal screams, and in under a minute, what was once your old car becomes a river of scrap fragments. Steel, aluminum, copper, sorted, separated, streamlined. A modern shredder can process up to 150 tons of steel per hour. That's hundreds of cars. This isn't destruction for destruction's sake. It's a symphony of systems, tuned to perfection, playing a brutal melody that clears the way for rebirth. Because only after the storm of steel and power comes a moment of calm, the part where molten metal rises, and a new future begins to take shape. Let's enter the fire
This engine
and
block
see
looks
what it
good,
means to be
but
reborn.
are the injectors still functional?
Rebirth and
We don't
fire.
test them, but we offer a
furnace
30-day
of
warranty on the
transformation.
assembly.
From silence to chaos, and now into the fire. After the crushing, after the shredding, after the sorting, what remains of the old car is now pure, fragmented steel, ready for its most radical transformation yet. Inside the towering walls of an electric arc furnace, the temperature climbs past 1,600 degrees Celsius. 3 massive graphite electrodes lower into the chamber, and a blinding flash of artificial lightning, raw energy becomes rebirth. It's loud, it's violent, and it's absolutely necessary. Because steel, for all its strength, must first break down completely before it can begin again. As the shredded metal melts, impurities rise to the surface. Technicians add lime and flux, which bond the contaminants to form a slab. A thick crust that is later removed. Oxygen lances are inserted to burn away unwanted elements, refining the molten core. Every second, spectroscopic sensors analyze the chemistry of the liquid steel, ensuring that what comes out is not just strong, but precisely engineered for its next purpose. And once the mixture reaches its perfect state, there's no time to waste. The fiery steel is poured into sealed channels, moving swiftly into continuous casting lines. Here, it begins to cool, slowly, carefully, within water-cooled molds. As it travels down the line, the outside hardens while the inside remains molten, forming long billets of glowing red metal. They are measured, scanned, laser checked for flaws, then cut into massive segments, each one weighing several tons. These are the building blocks of tomorrow, but the journey isn't over yet. Those billets enter the hot rolling mill, where rollers the size of trucks flatten and stretch them into sheets or coils. The steel flows like taffeta, strong but malleable, reshaped with each pass under precision control. Spray nozzles cool the surface. Fans temper the core. Ultrasonic sensors inspect the integrity. What leaves the line isn't scrap. It isn't even just metal. It's potential. Material that could become a bridge, a skyscraper, or the frame of a new electric car. From a broken down machine to a purified element of modern life, steel doesn't just survive fire, it is made by it. And now, forged in heat and shaped by force, it's ready to begin again. But where does it go? What becomes of this reborn metal? The answer lies in everyday life, and sometimes in places you'd never expect. What your car becomes next. It's hard to believe that the steel in your old car, the same frame that once carried you through snowy winters and summer road trips, could now be holding up a skyscraper in Chicago, or reinforcing a bridge in Oregon, or forming the chassis of a brand new electric vehicle rolling off a line in Detroit. But that's the beauty of the cycle. What once felt like an end is really just a transition. That rusted door panel, melted, refined, and reborn as part of a hospital bed frame. The aluminum hood, now part of a solar panel mounting bracket on a rooftop in Arizona. Even the copper wires that once powered your headlights may now be running through someone's living room wall, keeping the lights on for a new family. And the beauty of it is, this doesn't happen once. Steel is infinitely recyclable. A single car's metal can live dozens of lives, changing form, changing purpose, but never truly disappearing. It's a quiet legacy, one that connects generations. Your car today, your grandchild's world tomorrow, and maybe, just maybe, knowing that makes it a little easier to say goodbye when the time comes. Because now you know, it doesn't really end in the junkyard. It just begins somewhere else. Have you ever thought about what your car might become one day? A bridge? A building? Another ride? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this journey as fascinating as we did, don't forget to subscribe, and share. There's a whole world of invisible industries out there, quietly shaping our future. We're just getting started.